Hi, I'm Aaron.
And I am Spencer. We're a band called Underoath.
And you're watching Rock Sound.
Hey guys, James Wilson-Taylor here for Rock Sound, joined now by two of the lads from Underoath. It's Spencer and Aaron. How are you guys?
Hello, sir.
Good.
Hello.
How are you?
Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome back to the UK, we should say, first of all. Not seen you in a little while over here. It's nice to have you back. And, of course, the album came out earlier this year. First one in a little while. Looking back now, we're a bit further on. How's it all been going? You've been enjoying this year? Enjoying being back out there?
Year.
I can imagine.
Yeah, me and Aaron particularly have been nonstop. So
Yeah.
every break we've had has been filled with things that we've never done before. So we even did a radio tour, which was just me and Aaron flying all over playing acoustic, which has never happened for Underoath or either one of us really. It's nuts. It's been busy. It's been good. You know, it's better to be too busy, I guess, than not busy at all.
Nice. Sounds very good. We should say about the new record as well. Obviously, like I say, it was the first new record in a while. Have you noticed a change in the audience at all? Because I feel like we've seen a lot more chat about Underoath online and with a kind of younger fan base as well this time around. Has that been your reception?
Well, we didn't know. You know, I know when we got back together, we had talked about like all our fans are going to be old. You know, like we broke up. We started in like 2003, 2004 was like really our first record that anyone heard. So we're like, oh, it's all going to be people like our age or older because we were always the young band on tour. We grew up like touring with bands that were always older, Poison the Well, 18
also doing our
Visions.
two biggest records back to back, which are both over a decade old.
Yeah, and like Define the Great Line was turning 10 years old. And then we went out there and we played, and I would ask, after the first couple of days, we're like, man, this is kind of weird. Like the meet and greets seem like these kids seem young.
Yeah.
You know, and then I started asking, like 3 or 4 days into the tour, I was like, I'm gonna make a point to ask every night. And I would go, so who's here seeing us for the first time? And a lot of times it would be 3/4 of the crowd, like raising their hand. And I would ask it very clearly. I was like, all right, everyone be quiet. It's like, you know, a room full of thousands of people. I'm like, I need you to hear what I'm saying. Don't just raise your hand because I'm asking you to. Like, how many people actually have never seen an Underoath show before live? And a lot of people raise their hand. So yeah, it's crazy I feel like that word nostalgia gets thrown around, and I don't like that word because all these bands now that are getting called nostalgic because they started at a certain time or have outgrown the like just a flash in the pan. Like, oh, you've got a couple big records and you go away. Like a lot of bands do. It's like a lot of us and our peers are getting to the point where we're career bands. We're bands that have songs that are popular from the early 2000s, have popular songs now in 2018, and I think it's really cool because you're seeing kids from all ages, so you got to like make sure you're playing songs from all your records, and you know, I don't know, it's been pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, it's really cool to see. Has it changed the dynamic of the actual shows as well at all? Do you notice it, particularly when you're on stage, does it feel any different now this time around?
I think we internally appreciate it more this time around, you know? Like, but also, yeah, it's flattering to see youngsters I keep going.
I like that.
I keep going this way. It's flattering to see younger folks.
Yeah.
You know, and what I use as an example for my own brain is that one of my favorite bands, if you look at the Foo Fighters, right? Like, according to the timetable from the late 90s, you would consider them a nostalgia band, but you don't do that. And if you go to see Foo Fighters, there's people there who are 18 and who are 60 and who are 12. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think for us as a band, like as a rock band in 2018, that's our goal, is we want all people from all walks of life, from all age groups, to come and have a good time. And I'm beginning to see, obviously we're never have been at a point in our career where we're on the same plane as the Foos, but it's getting to that place demographically where I look out in the crowd and there's someone who's 18 and there's someone who's 14 and there's someone who's 45. Yeah. And that's cool. You know, like in the meet and greets, like he was saying, we've seen him change so much where I've asked kids, like, you're 16, why are you here? This is before Erase Me came out.
Right, sure.
Like, you're 16, you were 6 years old when the Define the Great Line came out. Well, my brother, he went off to college and he left me his records.
Wow.
Or I even think about it with myself, like a lot of bands I listened to as a kid, I didn't get to see. I wasn't old enough, like, you know, Alice in Chains, Nirvana, Soundgarden, all those bands. Some of them I saw way later in life. Like I saw Soundgarden for the first time in 2014 or 15.
Right.
You know, like when they started coming back and doing that stuff, and like Alice in Chains I never saw until obviously they got a new singer and started touring again. And you know, like he was saying, the Foo Fighters, I've been listening to Foo Fighters. I was in line as a kid because I was such a Nirvana fan. I had an older brother and 2 older stepbrothers, so I was always around like older music at a young age, which I feel like a lot of people maybe are. And I was in line to get the debut Foo Fighters record. I skipped school to get the CD when I was a little kid with my brother. And still to this day, I've never been able to catch them live. Does that mean I'm not a huge fan? No, I love that band. I feel like a lot of people are like that. Like, just because you haven't seen your favorite band doesn't mean they're not your favorite band. And, and people, life happens, and a lot of times you're not around when a band comes through. So seeing, like you said, new people, I don't think it's strange. Like, oh, well, our first record came out when you were like 6, but it's like, yeah, that happened to me too, though. Yeah. Like Led Zeppelin, half the reason I play music is because Led Zeppelin, because my dad loved Led Zeppelin. I never saw it. I will never see it. It's like, that doesn't mean I'm not a huge fan.
Yeah, of course.
It's just like we broke up at a point in our career that maybe before a lot of people were old enough or allowed to go to concerts, and now they are. So
bodes well for the future as well, like whole new audience kind of coming through, I suppose, as well. It bodes very well.
That's the goal, right? Is to continue to gain fans and serve your old fans as well.
Yeah, exactly. Balance it out. Very, very nice. Speaking of which, I did want to pick up on a story I heard around when the album was coming out, that you were at one point thinking about working with the guys from Bring Me the Horizon. Is that true? It was like, it almost kind of happened, right?
Yeah, we did that tour with them.
Yeah.
And we even sat down and spoke about it.
Yeah.
And just with everyone's families and timing.
It went like all the way through the final.
It went all the way to like labels and management.
And like money and budgets and stuff. We were just trying to figure out, we get along with those guys really well, and we respect each other. And it was just a thing that we were on that tour, and me and Aaron had already written about 20 songs at that point.
They had all the songs. They had some of the singles that are on the record now.
Wow. And we, we were like, well, what if Jordan makes the record? We loved Jordan. And then Jordan was like, well, what if I brought in Ollie, and between Tim and Chris and me and Aaron, who are the people that make the records, and then Jordan and Ollie, like, we could make something crazy and like really push each other, and like it would be something a band had never done before.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it would have been really cool, and maybe one day it will happen, but it just was one of those things that two bands trying to get on the same schedule is really tough.
No, I can imagine.
Jordan had just had a child as well,
right.
And it was just not.
And we're in America.
Not the ideal timing. Yeah,
we're in America, and they're here. And it's like Jordan's never. I don't think that I know of has produced anyone outside of his own band, but
I'm not sure. But
I don't think
or
so.
At that time yet. And so it was something we were all really excited about, and it just didn't end up. Couldn't get the schedules working.
Part of the issue too is Jordan lives in London.
Yeah, we live here in America.
And so we even talked about making a record in London, but Ollie lives up north.
Yeah, he does.
It was just like there was no way to even even if the four of us that play on the Underoath records would have come to London, we couldn't get Ollie down here for 5 days a week. It was a mess. So
and it's like it's easy to do that when it's your own band, but when you're like, oh, you're gonna go work for some other, like
both of our bands also had just toured a full world tour.
Right.
So by that time, it was like everyone wanted to be in their respective country.
So it was timing, though, I guess, is what we're saying.
That's
so
all it
perhaps in the future, if the timing was right, we could see that happen, because you guys were all clearly keen to do it.
Yeah, I think we would love to. I feel like Jordan, for a guy that doesn't make records for a lot of artists, his production is amazing. Yeah. And he's like one of those wonder boys that even the song they released a couple of days ago, it just, the production
sounds great.
Is so good.
He's killer, man.
And he literally has made like his band's 3 records, and maybe I don't know what he's made as far as local stuff or whatever, but like that's pretty rare.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like for a band that sells 20,000 tickets in London to have their keyboard player just make their records and the label sign off on it. Yeah. If we tried to do that, it would turn
it awful. Well, and it is a peer too. The cool idea was that we all, like I said, respect each other and we're friends, but he also was like, I grew up listening to Underoath. I can tell you guys like when I think it's shit, and I thought that was cool. I was like, and his name would have been on the line as well. It's like we're not going to let it suck, and like we didn't know what it was going to be, and timing didn't work out. And I think everything happens for a reason. They're focused on their record, we focused on ours, and both made great music.
Oh,
so
sure.
And I'm glad. Like we ended up meeting Matt Squire, who's someone we had never met before, who did Erase Me, and that's someone that I like. I'm going to keep in touch with probably for the rest of my life, because he was literally the best producer Underoath has ever had. Like he knew something about Underoath that a lot of people don't understand on the outside is it's the 4 people that write, that make, myself, Aaron, Tim, and Chris, like we're all such strong personalities. It's really hard for a producer to work with us, because the strong writing on one side might be from a quiet person, and this writing might be from the loudest guy in the band, and this guy might sit in the corner until someone asks him a question, but everyone has an equal
opinion, the strong opinion. I suppose.
And something that brings to the table that if it's not there, it won't sound like Underoath.
Right.
And Squire really, he was kind of like, it was like almost like a Buddha in the middle of it. Like he was just like this Zen master, and he just kept it so chill.
I forget
and like,
this all the time. He actually has a degree. His college degree is in psychology.
Really?
Which is
Yeah.
super random and rare.
Wow.
So it was, I would love to make a record with Jordan and Ollie at some point, but the positive thing that did come from it was meeting Matt Squire and
For sure.
and having a new relationship, and our band being able to work together for the first time, because every Under the Record until Erase Me is dudes fighting and screaming at each other and not getting what they wanted. At the end of the day, every record was like someone's compromising. Until Erase Me, which was a record where we worked together and everyone left happy with the product. So
Wow.
if that was all Squire, or that's a mix of Squire and us being over the age of, in our 20s, like we're now in our 30s and maybe we're just adults, but whatever happened was amazing, and
Yeah.
I wouldn't change it.
Worked well in the end. Fantastic to hear. Speaking of other collaborators, I did want to ask you, Aaron, about As It Is, because you appeared on the new record, Great Depression.
We're on the same label, and the label reached out to me. And I've never been, to be honest, a guy that really does guest spots. But their record it's like a concept record, and they kind of allowed me to do a guest spot and just do what I wanted. Like he sent me some lyrics, and he's like, "You do whatever you want." And it was cool. I was in the studio working on actually another band's record, producing, and it just worked out. And I like Patty because he is one of those people I feel like that really works hard. And I feel like there's less and less of that in the music industry today, because it's so easy to put your songs out. It's so easy to tour now, like for a lot of startup bands. And he he's had a lot of health issues. He's had a lot of shit go down in his life, and he's just willing to work. And it was really cool. It was really cool, and the song turned out great, I think. And he kind of let me. What I really liked about it is I put my own spin on it and just sent it back. And I didn't hear anything back. They were like, "Cool, thanks." I was like, "Oh shit." Like, did they hate it? Like, what happened? And then
Was this okay?
And
Or-
then when the record came out, he had taken his parts and morphed them to what I did, which was really cool. So
Yeah, I mean, we were chatting to Patty and Ben about it actually, and like they were saying exactly that. That was kind of the thing, like, oh my god, we've got Aaron on the record now. This is what it sounds like. And like you say, they sort of felt like, we'll let you take the lead, and then we'll adapt around it.
Well,
Which is a cool, great
for me,
process.
the main reason I did it as well is because they were like a pop punk band, and they really wanted to become a heavier band, and they didn't do it in like a cheesy way. They kind of just did their own thing, and I thought that was cool. That they decided, hey, we want to go in a heavier direction, but we're not going to try to sound like everybody else that's doing heavy music right now. Right now, everyone's just trying to sound like Bring Me the Horizon. So it was cool that they kind of went backwards, So yeah.
No, it's an incredible record, it really is. I wanted to ask you guys as well, we've been speaking to loads of bands through the summer, as you might imagine, about Warped Tour, because it was the final ever one. You guys played a few guest spots there. Talk to me about that final shows on Warped Tour out in the States. It's meant a lot to your band, I suppose, over the
We've done it
past
7
few years.
times.
Yeah, exactly.
Fully.
Amazing.
I don't know, it was cool. I mean, Warped Tour has got that built-in audience. Every show just feels like it's great, and it's sad to see it go in a way, but in a way it's also like times are changing and we all need to adapt. And I think, at least in America, things are maybe moving in a more progressive direction than even we might imagine right now. I see it happening with a lot of the festivals Underoath has been invited to, with a lot of our peers. Like we're out there with Thrice or The Used and Beartooth, or even Bring Me the Horizon, like the bands that would never be invited to play a lot of these festivals, and sharing stages with bands like Marilyn Manson and Disturbed and Five Finger Death Punch and all these things that we think is super weird. But when Warped Tour started, wasn't it weird that a band like Underoath was sharing the stage with Less Than Jake? It's not that much different. It's just moving. Things are changing, and the final Warped Tour shows were probably some of the best we ever played. Toronto was definitely the best Warped Tour set. We've played last, and there was no reason for anyone to be there unless you wanted to stay for Underoath, and it was the biggest Warped Tour show we've ever played. And it was like, that thing was like, this is sad that it's going to go, but I know the last couple of years of Warped Tour hadn't been too great turnout-wise until they said, hey, it's over. And I don't know if that's a sign of who we are as people, or just the lineup was right this year, or whatever it is, but it's gone, and things are going to move forward, and maybe there'll be something similar to it in the future that reboots that whole thing, but you know, we've got a lot of great festivals in America, and there's a lot of great festivals over here that we played this year, and I don't know, I think things are just changing.
Yeah. No.
Change doesn't have to always be bad. I think you're going to hold on to those memories and be like, oh, that sucks that it's not there anymore. But yeah, I mean, we made the best of it. 3 shows is all we needed because it was way too damn hot, man. It sucks.
Yeah, that is, to be fair, what everyone has said. Yeah,
I never understood
I
that.
forgot how hot it was.
Really?
Oh, because we hadn't done it in 9 years.
Right.
So the first day I walked off the bus and I was like, fuck.
I don't get it. It's like all these bands tour all year long, and you're like, why do you want to come to this when it's like 1,000,000 degrees outside and every band plays for 30 minutes?
Yeah, you're literally seeing, that's what's interesting about Warped Tour, and that's what also made it unique, is you're literally doing 6 songs.
Yeah.
I was talking to Patty about it. He's like, dude, like it's 6 songs. Like,
yeah, that's like my least favorite part about it. It's like, but
Getting going and want to
yeah,
keep...
like right when I'm like in like
yeah, you're starting to sweat,
starting to
hitting your
feel
stride,
good, and you're like,
leave.
oh, and then someone's looking at you on the side going, and you're like, oh shit, oh yeah, I gotta hurry this up, we gotta go, one more song, here we go. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
I've never got. I mean, as a music fan, which we all are, which is why we do this and grow up going to shows. Like, I never went to Warped Tour before I played it.
Oh, wow.
Just
Same.
because
Yeah, me
to
neither.
me, I was, you know, I grew up a place where it didn't come, but I wouldn't have gone because it's just the heat and,
Yeah.
and all of it. I mean, and I'm more proud of those people that go. That's the reason why we all have jobs, right? But
Yeah, fair play.
I've always scratching my head on that. Like, dude, there's all these bands come through indoors all year long, and you get to see every song that you might want to hear.
Air conditioning.
Yeah,
Man. Yeah,
You
that's
might
the way
get to
forward.
see the song that you actually want to hear, as opposed to 5 songs in the blazing sun.
You'd be surprised. A lot of places don't have air conditioner.
Oh, really?
And use indoors,
Oh, wow.
especially over here. Like in
Oh,
Europe.
yeah, over here, because it's only since this incredible summer we've been having, we've suddenly
guys-
realised, hey, maybe we should get some air conditioning units in these venues.
It's time. Yeah.
It's the first time we've ever
We did
realized
one.
we need
We
that.
did one on Rebirth in Germany, and there was no air conditioner. There was 15 or 1,600 people in this room, and I'm not kidding. It was like a spiritual experience. It was like a Native American sweat lodge.
Wow.
Halfway through the show, so we played for 2 hours on that tour, and halfway through the show, I looked at my drum tech. I was like, "This is not gonna happen." Like, you know how you get like super dizzy, and like I was like, "This is it. Like, I'm gonna pass out." I took all my clothes off except for my underwear and played the show that way.
Wow. I respect that.
Oh,
If you're going to play in a sauna, you may as well dress appropriately,
It was
right?
literally a sauna.
Yeah, man.
Incredible scenes. Guys, it's so nice to see you over here. It really, really is.
Thanks for
It's been
having
great
us.
chatting to you. Before you go, one last question. What's next, basically? Do we know what plans are in terms of more music? Where
We
do we
just
think
announced
we're going to go?
our like a big first like big A market tour in America. So just a bunch of touring right now, and then we have more stuff that we can't announce yet. So.
Yeah, the funny thing is, when you asked us earlier in this interview, like, how's it been? Like, you guys have been super busy. We still haven't really done a tour yet, if that makes sense.
Right.
We've been doing so many festivals and playing shows in between them that we haven't really been able to do our own tour yet. It's like, so we've kind of barely started touring on this record. You know, it's been out for a couple months, so we get to do our first big, like, headlining run in the States, November, December, and then
Which
so
is
on
which
and
is
so
really
forth.
cool. Not to toot our horn, but we're playing the biggest rooms we've ever done in the States, which is super cool.
No, that's great.
Like some of the rooms that we did with Bring Me and Beartooth were doing alone. So it's pretty cool to be able to, after this many years and with a new record, to be able to kind of go and do that. You know, like we're in our hometown, we're playing the basketball arena, which is kind of a, you know, your first stepping stone towards. So it's after all these years. And after all this time, to be able to release new music and be able to do stuff like that, it's just super flattering. And we've been working our asses off, so it's really cool to see it work. You know what I mean?
No, 100%. No, it's great to see you guys always. Aaron and Spencer, thanks very much.
Cheers.